Hello and welcome back to Mark's House and Garden UK. It's that time of year again when I have to think about preparing my garden for winter. In actual fact, I'm talking about some of the less hardy plants that I've got in my garden. Most of the garden will take care of itself, but there are certain things I need to do with some of the plants to protect them. For example, this Musa basjoo, the hardy green banana, called a hardy green banana, but not completely hardy. So I will need to take steps. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give you an overview of all the plants I'm going to protect. And then if you want more detail, you can look in the description box below this video where I will have done a complete full video on each of these plants. So I'm talking about Musa basjoo, the hardy green banana, Tetrapanax, this large leaf jungle plant, the whole jungle border in general, tree ferns, agapanthus, olive plants and olive trees, Cycas revoluta, Trachycarpus, aloes, striatula, agave, Cyathea cooperi, Ensete morillii, the red banana, aloe, and some of my succulents. A long list of plants. I'll give you an overview, a whistle-stop tour, and then if you want more detail, you can look in the description box below this video. Now you might be wondering what all this is here. It looks a bit like a spaceship. These are all the things you can win in my next giveaway gift bundle. So I've got 2 wildlife cameras. I've got a set of 2 of these plant lights, and I'm going to take a set of these with me on this little tour because these feature quite heavily, and you can win a set, or should I say 2 sets, in my next giveaway gift bundle. If you want to know what that's about, again, there will be a link in the description box below this video and a link at the end of this video. It basically involves joining my club. So have a look at my club. I would encourage you to do so, and I would be grateful if you did and consider joining it. Right, let's get on with it. Let's start with the hardy green banana. Hardy green banana is a bit of a misnomer. It's been misnamed because it's not completely hardy. It's root hardy. If you don't protect the growth above the ground and it freezes, it just dies down to the ground, and it will come back from the roots next year. So what I do is I want to maintain the height. I want to keep this height. I've been growing these for 3 years. I don't want to lose all that height. These trunks are not trunks, they're pseudostems. They're made up of green cells, and if they freeze, they rupture and it all collapses. So I will take off all the leaves and I will protect these stems or pseudo trunks from penetrating cold, and I will put some manure around the base. If you want to see me doing it, there'll be a full video in the description box below this one. Right, let's next move to the Tetrapanax, which is right next to me. Tetrapanax, look at the size of these leaves, amazing. All this growth is from this season, and in a few weeks time, or next week particularly, when it freezes, all these leaves will sag and die and disappear, but the trunks will remain. Now as these get older and more mature, the trunks become more hardy, but when they're quite young juvenile plants, if you want to maintain the height, once again like the banana, you need to protect the trunks. So I will wrap my trunks with something that lets air in, because the trunks need to breathe, but also prevents penetrating cold getting to them. And then next season it will start growing from the top, which is where I want it to start growing from. If I were to let that die under the cold, it would start growing again, but from the base, so we'd have to play catch up. So again, a bit like the banana, remove the leaves, protect the trunks, and put some manure around the base. Right, next is the whole jungle border in general. I'll reposition the camera and then I'll just give you an overview of what I'm going to do. So in terms of the whole jungle border, I will protect the Tetrapanax, I will protect the Musa basjoo, I will also protect this new banana. It's very similar in many ways to the Musa basjoo. It is hardy, so I will protect the trunk on that. Everything else in this border, I will cut down, chop up, and put all the cuttings and choppings on the ground to rot down, and I will cover the ground in a couple of inches of manure. There's Fatsia japonica in here. This is an evergreen plant and it's hardy. It will just stay there and retain its structure, but everything else will basically disappear to the ground. Eucamus bicolor disappear to the ground. Colocasia, pink chinas will disappear to the ground. All the gingers, again, I'll cut them all down, chop it all up, and the plant will just disappear into the ground for the winter. They'll all grow back next year. The Tetrapanax here, that's the second one. Again, I will protect the trunk. The passion flower along the back, that will lose all its leaves and it will grow back next year. So the important thing here is cutting most of it down, protecting the things that need protecting, chopping all the cuttings up, putting them on the ground so they can rot down and feed the soil, and adding a mulch of manure. That's pretty much it for the jungle border. Right, I'm going to talk about agapanthus next. So agapanthus, broadly speaking, there's two types. There's hardy ones and there's non-hardy ones. Obviously the hardy ones will survive better outdoors in the UK, but one year I made a mistake of leaving all mine out. They're all in pots and they all died. These are all the replacements, so I'm not going to make that mistake again. Every single one of my agapanthus, whether it be hardy or not, is going into a garage where it will not freeze. It will be cool, light, but it will not freeze. If yours are in the ground and they're hardy, they should be fine, providing they don't get too wet. And you might want to just put a mulch of straw over them or some leaves. I will also remove all the flower heads so that the plant is not putting energy into seeds. It's putting its energy into the plant. And then next year I'll bring them all out again, and in the springtime they'll start growing. Right, the next one is olive plants and olive trees. That's an olive plant. I also have 3 very large mature olive trees which are probably 100 years old. Again, they don't really need protection. The enemy of the olive, in my opinion, is wet roots and strong cold winds. So if you've got adequate drainage around the roots, it'll be fine. If you're in a position where it is exposed to very strong cold biting winds, you might want to put some fleece over it, and I did demonstrate that in a video, and again it's in the description box below this one. But I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to protect them. These are in the lee of the house, and the ones behind me, I've built a fence to protect them from wind. You can see them, the fence behind me. So these smaller plants, not going to protect you. I'll show you now one of the big trees, and here are 2 of my large olive trees. Point to note, they are planted into raised mounds, so the roots have very good drainage. They're relatively sheltered. I won't protect them. I might lose some leaves. If I do, I won't be alarmed because they will grow back. Don't forget, these plants, they live in very unforgiving climates where it's very hot in the summer and quite cold in the winter. Providing the roots have great drainage, they'll do really well. They can live up to 1,000 years and more, so I don't worry too much about them. Right, what should we have a look at next? Let's have a look at Cycas revoluta. So this is Cycas revoluta, also known as a sago palm. There's a slightly anemic looking one here, which is planted in the ground. And over here, there's one in a pot. And down here, there's several little baby ones, pups, which I've propagated off this one. If you want to know how I did that, there is a video on my channel. I'll link to it in the description box below this one. There's a lot to reference in the description box below this video. This one that's in the ground, they're quite hardy. They can cope with cold, but they cannot cope with cold and wet. I'm going to cut all the leaves off. And I built this, which I will place over the plant, and it will stop any water getting to the plant, so it will be dry for the cold spell, and that should give it a good chance of surviving the winter. The others, the babies, the pups, and that one in a pot, they are going in the loft above my garage under a plant light, so they will not freeze. They'll stay reasonably warm and they'll get all the light they need, so that hopefully they'll get through the winter, and then next spring we'll bring them out again. They may even put some growth on in that loft above the garage with these lights. Okay, so that's the Cycas revolute. Trachycarpus fortunii. So, Trachycarpus fortunii, the Chinese windmill palm, I've got 9 of these, ranging from this big one to quite a small one. They're bomb-proof, they're bulletproof. You don't need to protect them. You can see there's one there. There's 2 in the parterre over my right shoulder. I never do anything, just leave them be. Some of the leaves may get tattered in the strong wind, but that plant will survive anything that the UK can throw at it. And now, before my neighbour arrives with a lawnmower mowing the verges, we'll go and have a look at the agaves and the aloes. These are aloe vera, which are propagated off one large plant. I've divided them. They won't survive the UK winter, so they will go in the loft above my garage under a plant light. So that's the aloe vera. Now I also have aloe striatula, which is a hardy aloe. It's in the ground in my gravel garden, and that's where it will stay, and it's quite hardy. Agave. All these pots have got little baby agaves in them. That's an agave. That's an agave americana. That will go in the loft above my garage under a plant light. If you've got big ones of those, it's a bit like the Cycas revoluta. Leave them in the ground, stop them getting wet, and they'll cope with a bit of cold, and they should survive the winter. I had some big ones last year. I didn't stop them getting wet, and they died. But fortunately, I had these pups. Right. What's next? Ensete Marillii, that's a red banana. This is the Abyssinian red banana. Until a week ago, that plant was in the jungle border that you've already seen. There was a risk of frost, so I dug it up. It's in a pot of dry compost. It's in my dining room inside the house, where it is cool most of the time and light. Now, people treat these in different ways, but most people will dig them up. Some people take all the soil off the roots and hang them upside down from the garage ceiling. I've always kept mine in dry compost, stop washing, and just leave them. And hopefully, with a bit of luck and a following wind, that will get through the winter, and I'll be able to plant it again next spring, and it'll start going from up here. If I were to leave that in the garden, there is 100% chance that that will die. It's not hardy in the UK. So this is its best chance. The other thing you can do is let it die and buy another one next year. But you're losing the growth and the height that you've already achieved. So this is my way of protecting the Abyssinian red banana. So that concludes my whistle-stop tour of winterizing the plants in my garden. We've covered a lot of ground. Don't forget, more detailed videos in the description box below this video. And also, if you want to have a look at my club and my giveaway gift bundle and the chance for winning some of these wonderful plant lights and possibly even a wildlife camera, I'll drop a link to that in the description box below this video as well. My next job today, immediately, is chopping all the leaves of this Musa Basju and wrapping the trunks. I'll see you soon for some more garden winterizing adventures. Bye for now.